Hi, we're starting a new season of our program, Moscow Mosaic. Our first issue of 2024 is about India. Today, we will tell you about the friendship and cooperation between Moscow and Delhi. My name is Mike Gibson. Stay tuned. On today's program, Russia and India as strategic partners, how Moscow and Delhi strengthen their relationship and develop business ties.
Our Indian partners are very eager to share their experience in the field of development, primarily in digital technologies, information technologies, because today Moscow is clearly a leader in this area.
Why do Indian entrepreneurs choose to live and work in the Russian capital?
We were always looking out to branching out our business, and Moscow is and has always been a developing city. Russia has always been a developing country.
Indian traditional dance lessons, yoga therapy techniques, and Hindi language classes. Everything about the Jawaharlal Nehru Cultural Center at the Embassy of India in Moscow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
India and Russia have a long, time-honored history of mutual friendship and cooperation. Both states share similar values in international relations and have consistently pursued independent policies respecting each other's interests. Moscow and Delhi have common views on global affairs, which today shape the image of a new world, one based on mutual respect and partnership. This helps to forge and further develop cooperation in various sectors: space, energy, defense, nuclear science and technology, as well as pharmaceuticals.
India and Russia have been strategic partners for over 75 years. Last year, we celebrated the 77th year of diplomatic relations between our two countries. And India has honored its chairmanship of the G20 by proving that it has preserved its political sovereignty. It has not allowed the countries that have periodically tried to create an atmosphere of distrust, an atmosphere of hatred towards the Russian Federation. It has not allowed these countries to derail political discussions.
One of the main organizations engaged in economic communications between the two countries is the Moscow-based Business Council for Cooperation with India. It is a non-profit partnership established to provide assistance to its members in conducting Russian-Indian business. The council is headed by Sergei Chiromin, Minister of the Moscow City Government and head of the Department of External Economic and International Relations. The organization holds various events for representatives of the Russian and Indian business community on a regular basis. These gatherings promote the mutual understanding and conclusion of profitable contracts, provide consultation in the fields of law and politics of Russia and India, encourage investment and the development of business activities between the countries.
We actively promote cooperation between the chambers of commerce and industry. We involve our colleagues from various business associations in India, such as the Confederation of Indian Industrialists and the Association of Indian Entrepreneurs. Now, it goes without saying, we are trying to create platforms where companies can place their orders, where they can talk about their products and their services, and we actively promote mutual investments.
In early 2024, the Russian capital was represented for the first time at Smart Cities, a 3-day international exhibition of technology and infrastructure held in New Delhi, the capital of India. The Moscow delegation was headed by Sergei Chiromin, head of the Department for External Economic and International Relations. He took part in the opening ceremonies of the exhibition and worked at Moscow's booth along with the main guest of the event, the governor of the Indian state of Uttarakhand, Gurmit Singh.
It's vital for us to focus on the power of tomorrow. In fact, today itself, and as a start point, this moment, I can feel the vibration in each one of us, in each one of you, to make a change, a transformation and modernization for times hereafter.
During the business program, Sergei Cheromin shared with his Indian colleagues his experience of the Russian capital creating a comfortable, safe and efficient urban environment. The participants of the event learned firsthand about Moscow's electronic public services, digitalization of education, as well as Moscow's technology parks with convenient infrastructure for launching startups. The head of the delegation paid special attention to the development of Moscow's transportation system.
Moscow provides an example of what is possible, having quickly developed a huge metropolis in a short period of time. Ultimately, this can be achieved if you adopt the right strategy, if you spend resources correctly, if you make competent investments, motivate the stakeholders living in the city to interact with the authorities.
In 2017, the Business Council for Cooperation with India participated in a presentation by our TV channel Big Asia during the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum.
In the face of fierce media competition, few believed it would be possible to survive in the Russian media space. Nevertheless, the channel has not only survived, but is steadily developing and acquiring international partners. And today, one of them is the China Media Corporation. You have a wonderful Telegram channel where you've created a very interesting and, in my opinion, compelling program called Chinese Panorama. I'm a huge fan of the program myself. And I am sure that in the near future, your channel will cooperate not only with China, but also with other BRICS nations. I know about your intentions to start a close, cooperative relationship with your Indian colleagues in the near future.
India is a recurring subject on Big Asia's program schedule, and stories about Indian events taking place in the Russian capital are regularly featured. For example, the TV channel Big Asia is a permanent media partner of the India Day Festival, which is held in Moscow every summer. India Day is one of the most colourful Moscow summer festivals. It is also a great opportunity to learn about the culture and traditions of the country from Indians themselves. Yoga, Ayurveda, culinary classes, dance lessons, Bollywood cinema, stores and restaurants with Indian cuisine. All this is at the India Day Festival. The main organizer and mastermind of this large-scale cultural festival in Moscow is Mr. Sami Kotwani. Mr. Sami Kotwani first came to Moscow in 1990 and was immediately charmed by the Russian capital.
So I see the snow on the street, right? And I felt it, and I said to myself, if 15 million people stay, I can also stay.
Good start.
Good start. So on the very first week when I met with Russians, we didn't understand each other, but they were always there to help me.
Over the years, Mr. Kotwani's love for Moscow became even stronger.
So I think this is the world's best place to stay.
Perfect. Now,
And let me tell you, the metro, the roads, the infrastructure, this is something beyond, I've been to France, I've been to Paris, I've been to UK, sorry. You cannot compare that.
Yes.
Russian is more luxury, more interesting.
Mr. Kotwani's office is located on Ilyinka Street in Moscow's iconic marketplace, Gostiny Dvor. The Indian entrepreneur is the founder and director of the Imperial Tailor Atelier chain. Sami started his business in Russia, then the Soviet Union, with an investment of $300. Now Mr. Kotwani's business venture is a respectable atelier for a predominantly male audience.
You know, all around the world, men don't like shopping. They hate shopping. So that's why we want to make a place where they don't think about shopping. It's like a luxury home where they sit, have a cup of coffee, smoke a cigar, and then do the business. We are not shopping. That's the whole logic behind it. You should relax and forget about your clothing problem. That's where I take care.
Sami still personally takes the measurements of every customer. His regular guests are officials, artists, businessmen, and diplomats.
Samaji, it's been quite some time. How
Welcome,
are you? So happy to
Excellency.
see you.
In addition to his cultural activities and the development of his own atelier chain, Mr. Kotwani has been the head of the Indian Business Alliance since 2008. This non-profit organization helps Indian entrepreneurs in Russia to establish cooperative arrangements with Russian partners.
Indian Business Alliance is association of Indian businessmen living and working in Russia. It was established 30 years back under the guidance of Indian Embassy, under the patronage of Indian Embassy.
Right. So basically new business people from India arriving in Russia, they can come and speak to you and they'll get all
Yes.
sorts of support in terms of legal, tax, immigration.
Yeah.
You can give them advice.
Yeah, not only new people, it's all about setting up the goals.
Today, the Indian Business Alliance includes more than 150 small and medium-sized companies operating in the Russian market. One of these firms belongs to entrepreneur Varun Naresh Sadanani. He has been living and working in Moscow for over 3 years. Indian by nationality, Mr. Sadanani was born in Dubai, and in the late 90s his family started their own business in fabric printing there. But soon they expanded their production to Russia.
We were always looking out to branching out our business, and Moscow is and has always been a developing city. Russia has always been a developing country, and I feel it's a market where you could definitely grow one's business. One can definitely grow his or her business over here. It's always changing, ever changing. I feel there's always a trend over here. There's not a concrete trend that people follow over here.
Mr. Sadanani claims that they can transfer almost any pattern onto fabric.
So this is basically our design studio for the designer, where they create the designs. So if a client comes in, they have a fabric, a design they want to show, want to portray, want to replicate. So we've got a scanning machine over here which scans the design, and then the designer, if they want to make any changes, any color changes, any design element changes they need to make, it's all done through here.
Mr. Sadanani's company produces more than 500,000 meters of products a year. The textile company's clients include both large clothing manufacturers and independent designers with capsule collections. In 2023, the trade turnover between Russia and India amounted to a record $65 billion. Moscow has become Delhi's fourth largest trading partner, up from 25th, where it previously stood. With economic ties between the two countries developing so rapidly, one of the main objectives of the Indian Business Council in Russia is to help entrepreneurs establish better business communications. It is another organization working in Moscow that creates and stimulates new economic ties between both countries.
Between these two countries is that there's lack of information. People do not know much about Russia back in India. and people in Russia also have not a very clear understanding of India as a market. So we keep on doing various events wherein, you know, we try and take certain businesses of certain industries there for them to see, and from there to here to also come and see what this country is all about, so that they have a much better understanding. Because unless there is communication, unless people see stuff themselves, it's very hard for them to kind of, you know, comprehend what the countries are all about.
The main areas in which Indian entrepreneurs work are textiles, logistics, agriculture, and of course, pharmaceuticals. India has a great deal of experience in the development and production of pharmaceutical substances, the basis for the production of medicines.
India has come out on top, having surpassed Germany, the previous leader, in the supply of foreign medicines in 2023. India is now the largest player in the global market and has become the largest player among foreign companies in the Russian market. Indian companies are primarily generic companies that produce copies of original drugs and then supply them to the Russian market.
Our first point on the map of Indian places in the Russian capital is the Jawaharlal Nehru Cultural Center, located at the Indian Embassy in Moscow. The Jawaharlal Nehru Cultural Center at the Embassy of India in Moscow has been in existence for over 35 years. It was opened in the USSR after the success of the Festival of Indian Culture in 1988.
Just after the completion of that festival, the response that we received from the Russian people towards Indian art and culture, towards Indian cuisine, it was decided that probably an Indian cultural center here at the Embassy of India would further enhance, strengthen the relationship between Russia and India.
Today, the centre is visited by all those who are interested in the history and culture of India. Every day, there are classes in 4 main directions: traditional Kathak dance, Indian tabla drum, vocal Hindustani tradition, and yoga. Also, with the support of the Moscow government, the centre regularly holds various municipal events.
So, last year, when we were celebrating the 9th International Yoga Day here in Moscow, we had more than 4,000 people join us for the yoga celebration at the Saritsino Park. And we are looking forward to the support of Moscow city government for organizing this very successfully this time too.
In our previous programs, I managed to dance tango and salsa. Today, it's time to try some Indian dancing. So, Mr. Gangarin, show me what moves do we start with?
Yes.
Thank you.
This is a basic hand posture and a standing position of Kathak dance, which is called Utpatti. So I will start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3.
Deepak Gangani has been teaching Indian Kathak dance for 15 years. During his career, he has toured all over the world and participated in festivals at a national and international level.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tig da dig dig thay. Tig da dig dig thay.
Here, the teachers at the Cultural Centre teach Muscovites how to play traditional Indian musical instruments. Hello.
Hello.
So, let's play.
Okay.
Yeah?
So, when are you a student and you are taking this tabla to learn, you have to be very dedicated towards to the instrument. And there are so much nuances of playing in this tabla. The style is different. It is a combination of sharp and bass sound, and there are tabla languages Mostly, they're like a combination of a syllable of so many words in this sharp and bass sound.
About 500 students attend the cultural center at the Embassy of India in Moscow. In all, more than 140 classes take place here each week. For instance, here you can learn yoga.
See, yoga is becoming popular around the world nowadays because of its physical benefits, mental relaxation, and spiritual benefits. So if you practice yoga every day, you can have very flexible body, relaxed mind, your emotions will be under control. So yoga is very popular, very good for health.
Indian cuisine is not yet as popular in Moscow as, for example, Chinese or Japanese, but it is actively developing and is finding more and more fans among Muscovites. Therefore, today we decided to take a look at a real Indian restaurant together with you. Hi, good to see you. Thank you so much for welcoming us. The Dhaba is one of the oldest Indian restaurants in the capital. The first institution under this name was opened in the USSR in 1978.
Well, before, when it was in Soviet Union, people were a little bit afraid of Indian food. They were thinking it's spicy and all. Now people are open to the market, they go everywhere, they go to the other countries, they know this cuisine very well, people enjoy this food.
The first Indian cafe was opened by the owners of the Dhaba across from the People's Friendship University in the capital. The place was not chosen by chance. Students from Pakistan, Nepal and India gladly came to the Dhaba to eat their favorite dishes.
And not only the students, the embassy is also very frequent over there.
In the restaurant's kitchen, several chefs prepare traditional Indian food every day. Chef Rajandir Singh has been in the profession for 18 years, and for 13 of them he's been serving Indian cuisine to Muscovites and guests of the capital. Today, there are many guests in the restaurant. Mr. Rajandir, what are you preparing for the guests?
Indian vegetables.
Especially for Russians, the chefs make all the food less spicy than at home in India, although each client can choose the degree of spiciness themselves. As the chef admits, once you have tasted proper Indian cuisine, you won't be able to go back to anything else. I'm very fond of Indian food and have chosen a few familiar favorites from my childhood. Please can I have the chicken biryani? Chicken biryani is an Indian pilaf with chicken, vegetables and spices. It is one of the most popular dishes among Russians. In second place is butter chicken masala, chicken in a creamy tomato sauce. So delicious.
Enjoy your meal.
Thank you. In 2024, reciprocal and mutually beneficial relations between Russia and India continue to develop. Russia's pivot to the east and India's growing economy are playing their part. Most importantly, both powers share a common vision of a future multipolar world based on mutual respect and partnership. And so, the friendship between Russia and India will grow only stronger.
We complement each other very well. Our economies are demonstrating growth today despite serious political pressure, despite, of course, the economic sanctions that are being imposed today against Russia by Western countries, by the United States of America. But India's support and the fact that it has not embarked on the path of sanctions, that it has not declared itself a power hostile to Russia, this testifies to the serious political authority of this country. It testifies to the fact that it retains its autonomy in making global decisions. Now, this, of course, is very important for the development of cooperation between our countries.
You have been watching the program Moscow Mosaic, and I'm the host, Mike Gibson. Alvida, which in Hindi means goodbye. See you soon in the next program.